Well, hello folks, Iggy's back. So, went through the quarters, and you saw my finds, found my two loons for Voyageurs National Park. And I also went, as I usually do, through the rest of the quarters. And here are my finds. I found three 1998 with this known issue, so let me show you. It's a doubling on In God We Trust. You could see it's kind of in between machine doubling and mechanical machine doubling and weird. Usually mechanical doubling is not that wide. It's a little bit closer. So that's one. Then there's another one. It looks like that. This one, the O is even worse. I agree, the D and the S's, they're all a little bit mechanical, but I think it's still a neat find to keep. These are the only 3 out of probably 20 or 30 that have these issues. But yeah, I think these are cool finds. Then I found a 1999, and this is a Georgia one. Usually there's issues on the back, but with this one there is actually an issue on the front, and it's right there. Basically there is a die crack going between the dollar, RN dollar, and the mint mark, and it goes all the way through the neck of George Washington. So I think that's pretty cool. Then there is a known variety with South Carolina where there's an extra branch or an extra die crack right here. However, here I found a die crack, and it's very small, very minor, but you can still see it. It's right here in the tail. Next one is the Alaska one, and these are known varieties as well. There's basically usually die cuts, die chips in the Great Land. So there's one in the A and by the L, and there's also an issue with the claw. There's a die chip right there. So that's a known issue as well. And I have another one. There were 2 of them like that. Some are more pronounced than the others, like here. But they're all very, very similar, right? So there's more die chips in the claw. Cool. Then I found the Arizona one. So this is not that known, but you can find it, and it's basically by the rightmost cactus, right above the unum, near the date. There is the engraver's initials, and there is a die chip right here on the last cactus, right at the base of it. And just for comparison, I could show you a good one, and it should look something like that. So JFM, and on the variety one it's basically covered up. So that's pretty cool. Let's move on to the next one, and this one is a known one as well. It's George Rogers Clark, and there's a small die chip right here between the rifle and the hat of the topmost rifleman. Then let's see, what else do we have? I think, oh yeah, here we go. Let's go with these ones. These are known as well. These are Harpers Ferry, and there's basically a die chip right here in the top of the building. I didn't see any other doubling, which usually happens. And I think I have another one with similar issue. This one's slightly different, so the die chip is not here, it's actually on the other side of the roof of the building. But that's that one. Then Cumberland Gap. Usually there is a die chip right here between the hat and the rim where it says Gap. Here there's actually a die chip on the top of the soldier's hat. So that's pretty neat. Then we have Fort Moultrie. Right, and you guys can see right off the bat there is a die chip right here between the top of the hat and the word Fort, or the letter F and O. So that's this one. Then we have this one, Homestead, and this one is known. This one has so many different varieties. Usually there's like a leaky bucket or whatever, things like that. In this one, however, I found right here on the top of the roof, there is a die chip right here on the left bottom. I think that's about it for this one. Then another known one is our favorite Kisachi. So this one, there is a known variety with the die chip in the tail of the feathers, and here it is. So that's also pretty neat. Then let's see what else we have. Then this one, Frederick Douglass. Usually there's an issue on the reverse with his face, lapel, and hair and other things. On this one, however, the issue I found is on the front. It has die chips right here at the base of the neck where the initials are. So that's pretty interesting. And a couple more, I think 3 more. So this is a known one also. I found so many, Ellis Island. And basically there's die chip in the guy's hair right here, where the hat is. Sometimes it's over here by the ear, and in the lady's hair right here on the top. It's a bit dirty, but this is like the best example I could provide. There were a lot, like at least 5 or 10 that I basically just, too much, I threw it back. Then pictured rocks. This one is interesting. So this one, usually there is something right here, die chips by the rocks, and there's also a die chip right here on the tree's trunk. There's a small one right here. There should be nothing there. I compared it with other quarters. So that's also a known variety. And finally, the last one, and this is at Possum Islands, the latest, well, before the Voyagers that came out. This one has known varieties as well. On this one, however, the variety, usually I found it over here, the die chip. This one has a humongous die chip right here. It sticks out of the coin and you can't miss it. So that one is so obvious you could practically see it without the microscope. But yeah, that's about it. There's nothing on the top. Usually there's die chips on the trees. I didn't see anything here. Yeah, that's all I had. Spent quite a bit of time, but it was worth it, I think, as always. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.